Hi, Jenny.
Hi, Ruchi, how are you?
I'm really well. Jenny, I am so glad we are putting this together. And, this is a subject area that's close to my heart and it is close to your heart. The coming together of cultures or the similarities between cultures. And for me, having lived in Australia, grown up in India, I see a lot of similarities in the Aboriginal culture and the culture that I grew up with, which is Hinduism. The connection to land for Aboriginal people, First Nations people, and the connection to what I call nature for us. There's so much to explore, the science behind it, etc., etc. And, coming into Naidoc week as well. I'm really happy we're doing this.
I'm really excited about this as well. And, from my perspective, for the time that we've known each other, we've connected really deeply as opposed to superficially. And I think that's a little bit about our backgrounds and being a culture of spirituality and very grounded. And there seems to be, that crossover of values such as respect.
Yeah, definitely. And I love the way you say culture of spirituality, because it's not about God and it's not about spirit. It's actually about, I find spirituality to me is about being the human we are. It is about who we are and how we connect to the rest of our ecosystem. That's what it is all about, the essence of being, really.
Yes, yes. And I think, as we go through life, I know myself as a young person, there would be things that I would think, do, or behave in a way that to me was intuitive.
Yeah.
But the more I think about it, the more I sort of connect it to my culture and ancestry. It's really funny how things evolve when you have more time to reflect on the why are you doing this way.
Yes, absolutely. And look, I always tell people, for me, the biggest teacher is awareness. So, Jenny, we're going to discover all of this. We're going to explore all of this through this series of conversation. But I think a really good place to start is the Naidoc week. What does it mean to you? And, a dilemma I've had, I've known you for a while, and yet when Naidoc week happened, I didn't know what to do. Do I wish you? What is the expectation? So over to you, Jenny.
Thank you. Thank you. So Naidoc week to us is a really important week because it's an opportunity for a week to shine a spotlight on First Nations people. And that gives us the vessel to educate, raise awareness, identify similarities. When we were talking about values before, in my First Nations culture, respect, responsibility and reciprocity are our core values. But that's not limited to us. I speak with you and you've got the same type of values. So the good thing is, whilst we get to say this is what we're proud of as First Nations people, we also get to say we're one big melting pot.
Yeah.
See the similarities. This is why we're all in this together. And that cultural awareness.
Yeah.
First Nations is the piece of the pie. It's us understanding and appreciating each other. That I think that this is one thing that we achieved during this week. Naidoc week this year, like every year, there's a different theme, and this year it's for our elders.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah. So for people like us, right, the non-First Nations people, if I may call us that, what is the right protocol?
So I have people all the time, regardless of Naidoc week, not really knowing how to address certain conversations with me as a First Nations person. You can say Happy Naidoc week. What are you doing? How are things?
Yeah. So would I be right in saying Naidoc week has been set up? I think you mentioned it was a government initiative.
Yes.
So it's been set up to really showcase or maybe bring focus on
Yes.
the First Nation people. Is that right?
Yes, that
Okay.
is the
So
purpose.
could I call it a celebration of culture in that?
Absolutely.
Fantastic. Good to know
Yeah.
that. Another question, a fundamental question. How do we address the First Nation people? What do we say Indigenous? Do we say First Nations? The word commonly used is Aboriginal. What is the right usage?
Yeah. So we refer to ourselves as First Nations people.
Yeah.
So that's what we like to be known as, because all the evidence has pointed back to 65,000 years so far, occupying this wonderful country called Australia. Yeah. So we prefer First Nations. If you say Aboriginal or Indigenous and Torres Strait Islanders, there's nothing offensive in those terms.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Yeah. So whatever, if you say one or the other, it's not going to be offensive. And I think when people have true meaning and care, that comes through. So we're very forgiving. Because it's and the thing too with people, I like it when they ask questions, because that is building your self-awareness, that is building your cultural awareness, and it's building relationships.
Absolutely. And like with everything else, right, there's a way to ask questions, and if the questions come from an honest curiosity, then there's nothing wrong with questions, as long as people, and this is true with anything. I mean, I do so much behavioral work with leaders, etc. As long as we park our judgment and pre-made assumptions and just come with a clean mind to understand and learn more, I think there is so much to learn and explore. So Jenny's so excited. We've already thought through the next few topics. So very much looking forward to this journey with you. And let's make it happen and put it out there.
Absolutely. And the more and more we get to understand each other's culture, it'll enrich us, our lives, and make us more interesting people in conversations.